So today I'm very happy to announce that Ravn has finally launched an alpha. So yesterday I sent out about 70 invitations to people on the waitlist that now has access to Ravn in its very first stage 1 alpha. So that's first stage out of 5 different stages. So if you go to ravn.gg, you can join the waitlist and you can also see all the different stages that we're gonna go through. So I need to update this, but now we are actually here at the alpha testing phase. So that's a very early MVP version where just a handful of people will get access. And I've actually invited about 70 people that have actively signed up to participate in the testing. Now, I have more than 600 people on the wait list. Out of those, about 70 people have actually asked to be participate in these very early testing phases. So that has actually been sent out yesterday. So I'm very excited to see how that actually progresses. And if you are part of those early testers, just thank you for participating in this. It really helps out, and I'm sure that this is really gonna help grow Ravn into a more robust and great trading software. So with that said, I'm just gonna walk you through everything that we actually have prepared for this alpha version, because I have stripped some features out of it just to keep it very simple and just to be able to test the core functionalities of the system. So it's you are able to create strategies here from the dashboard. You can create a strategy and you can also deploy bots. So everybody will be on the free version of Ravn, and then I have increased the rate limit so you can actually deploy 2 bots in production. Okay, so we have that, so you can create a strategy, and I will suggest to look at the video I just did. I think that's last week, where I went through all the different nodes. So these are all the different nodes that we have, and I have made some tweaks to this actually. So now we also have, if I select, for example, the Polymarket venue and then the market selector, now I have actually let me just show you here. So if we go to Polymarket, let's just say we take this event, because this event has many different markets. So if you take the slug from here and then apply it, you can actually import the events like this. So if I click load, then you can select, it's then gonna get all the events, and you can then import the markets like this. So I made it much easier to actually import markets from these events that collects many different markets. So besides that, you can also manually select the slug of the market you want to trade on. You can also have a series of active markets. So for example, the Bitcoin up and down market. So that's one of the big features that I actually implemented last week, besides also just making Ravn ready for alpha. So I'm very excited for this, to see how this progresses. So, and that's kind of also why I've been a little bit silent here on YouTube, because I've just been really trying to get this ready for production. And honestly, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of errors and mistakes on the way, but this is kind of the whole point of doing this alpha, to have people actually play around with it, try it out, and yeah, and just see how things go. So it's also a way to get some feedback in. So if you also participate here in the alpha, you can click this submit feedback button and then write your feedback, or if you have a bug or anything like that, an issue, then use this form here, and I'll get notified about that. I also created a docs. Okay, so that's at app.ravn.gg/docs, and you also find it from the dashboard, where basically everything in Ravn has been documented. Some of the features is actually not available, so I have stripped that feature away for now, such as the backtesting. We do not have that in alpha. The Monte Carlo simulations, we do not have that as well. For the venues, there's only Polymarket and not Kalshi. not any and not any other venue. So that's only Polymarket. And then when you are ready with your strategy, you have created your strategy. Remember to save it up here, and you can give it a name. You can also rename it to another name if you want that. Then you can, from the dashboard, you can go over here and actually deploy your bot. Okay, so let me now I only have one strategy, but let's say I stop this one here, and you can then select your strategy. And we only have simulation for now, so live is not enabled in alpha. I will enable that in a different stage, maybe next one. I'm not sure. We have to figure that out. And you also have some simulation settings that you can set here, and then you can click deploy bot, and then it's actually going to deploy this to its own instance that's actually isolated from everybody else's bot. So if we have some kind of a critical issue for, as you know, for one bot, it's not going to take all the other bots down. So there's a security aspect in that as well. And yeah, so it's basically deployed kind of on its own server. That's also why I have invested in a dedicated server for Ravens. Right now, it's actually deployed on a dedicated server running there. So we'll see how that goes. It's very exciting. I'm very. It's been about 2 months where I've just been grinding Ravn, and finally it's ready to launch. And of course, when we do some kind of a software like this, we always expect it to be, you know, even with vibe coding, expect it to be faster. I thought honestly that I would be ready with this alpha in about a month, but it probably took me closer to 2 months to get this ready. So yeah, it's been kind of a grind, and it's not done yet. There's still a lot of features that needs to be added. And yeah, so when you deploy your bots, you can see how it's actually going to look like from this UI here. That can be some delay, and of course also some issues and bugs here and there. You should be able to see the prices update in real time, just as you see here on my screen. If you're on a market such as the Bitcoin up and down, that is a series of markets, it should rebind automatically. Yeah, and you'll be able to see the countdown as well. If you want to see some of the earlier markets, you can disable the auto switch, and that's actually going to enable you to see the past markets. When you deploy a bot, it's gonna get the data in real time. That's why you can see I only have data for the first market that I subscribe to. And if I enable this, it's gonna go to the active market. And if you get any orders, it's gonna be shown here. Let me take one of the strategies that I have been running for a while. So if we take this one here, this one has been running for a while, and I am more or less break even. Of course, keep in mind that this is simulation, so it's simulating the fills, and what you experience here in simulations might not reflect what you also gonna experience in a live trading environment. So yeah, it can give some kind of a signal as to if your strategy is profitable, but at the end of the day, you need to deploy it in a real live environment, and this will of course be possible with Ravn when we are closer to a finished product. So you can see here how I have all these orders here. So the way I have chosen to do it, and of course I'm open to feedback, is that each of these rows is closed orders. So if you buy and sell, that's a closed order, and then we compute the P&L of that. So if you buy one and sell one, it's going to be like this. And then I also implemented a new feature where it's automatically going to settle the order. So let's say that you buy a token, but you never sell it. We still want to take that into account. So it's actually automatically going to check what the outcome is for that token, and then it's going to be written here as a settlement. Now, currently Ravn does not automatically redeem the tokens. This is probably something we're going to have in the future. But for now, and this is also simulation at the end of the day, right? So it doesn't really matter. So this one is just it's not really a real strategy. It's basically just buys only up within a certain price frame, and then it's gonna go long, and it's gonna set a limit sell price automatically. And you can see how all the orders here, and it's more or less break even. So that's cool. So these are the kind of strategies that I personally will deploy. A strategy that can break even, because that's gonna allow me to actually get like real world live data in somewhat of a cheap way, right? So this is actually going to be the next step for me to work on, is to actually test live trading out a lot more than I did in the past. So I actually did test out live trading in the very beginning of Ravn, but since then I focused more on the simulation sides of things. And the way I've built Ravn is to make it, it doesn't really matter if it's simulation or live. I've tried to mimic each other. So what happens in simulation should also happen in live. That's kind of what I need to test out now to make sure that that actually works. So there's going to be these two parallel testing sort of phases. One is now the alpha, where people publicly is testing the simulation out, and then I personally will test live trading for a week or two, and then when that's done and I feel like everything has been polished for that, then I'm gonna launch Ravn to more people and also with live trading. But we'll see how it goes now with the alpha. That's going to be very exciting. And another feature that I have planned is also to do some kind of a competition. So to actually get more people in, I'm going to do some kind of a leaderboard competition where people will get, $1,000 fake money, and then they can deploy a bot and then see how well their bot does throughout a certain amount of weeks. And then there's going to be a leaderboard about how, what their P&L and stuff like that. So that's something I'm also working about behind the scenes. But yeah, there's a lot of features. There's a lot of things going around now. And yeah, it's a lot of work. But, it's going well. And the last thing that I want to mention, and this is more for people that is part of the alpha, but of course, if you are not and you come in later, this is also relevant for you to know, is that we have this settings icon up here where you can control a lot of your risk settings. So for example, you can define what happens when the bot stops. For example, should the pending orders be automatically cancelled? What about active positions? Should they be exited automatically? You can also set a default stop loss and a default take profit from this setting. This is something that can be overridden in the strategy settings, but you can set it on a portfolio level. And you can also select the type of market order you want your stop loss and take profit to use. Currently, actually, it's only a market for the stop loss and then a limit or a market for the take profit. Because a stop loss, you just want to exit right away. So that's why we do a market order. But again, I'm open to suggestions. If someone feels like they need something else, something different, we can do that for sure. And you have some capital management where you can set a maximum amount of capital per position, max portfolio per position, and stuff like that. So you can go through this. Everything is also documented in the docs that I showed you before. And again, some of these I might remove in the alpha, and I'm actually already, some of this I already removed. So this is actually a little bit earlier version. I already did some new tweaks on the newer version. But yeah, you should definitely check this out. And yeah, if you are not already on the waitlist, I would suggest you to sign up. I will make sure to leave a link down in the bottom below here on YouTube. So yeah, with that said, that's all I have for today. Again, if you have not signed up for the waitlist already, there's a link down in the description below. There's also a link to our Discord server, Poly Traders, where we have a lot of traders and people building their own bots, discussing and networking on that in that community. And it's free to join. It's always going to be free to join. So I'm going to make sure to leave a link down in the description below. So yeah, that's it. Have a great day and see you at the next video. Bye bye.